I'm just curious what you think of the Azov battalion being received by the Congress, the U.S. Congress, a few weeks ago. I mean, you know, this is. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. What do you think of it?
You know what? I give you one example. I meet my good friend Steven Seagal here in Moscow, and he tell me the story how he visit the Donetsk area and how he go to the interview people who is sitting here, who is detained. It's a complicated by the law story because Geneva Convention prohibit to publicize the prisoners of war,
Right.
but he did it. Maybe he violated the law, I don't know. And he tell me that he have on camera the footage of Azov battalion so-called warriors telling him that the President Zelensky by himself, when he was visiting Mariupol, tell him if they capture Russian soldiers, torture them on camera, kill them on camera, and release that footage to the internet, to the world audience. This, what is it as a war crime? What is it different than a war crime? And the people who receiving that scam in a Washington, D.C., that's exactly same war criminals as a Azov battalion war criminal people. That's exactly same. That's Schiff and others, and who invite them and who lead them to the Washington D.C. and who give them a platform to speak. That's a war criminals as well, and they need to be investigated and they need to be prosecuted. You know what? We pursue a very interesting goal. We want to establish the tribunal for the BRICS.
Right.
For Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and you know there's some other peoples, other countries who's joining now.
Right.
So the Turkey and the list, and others and others and others. So this is like 78 or 82% of world population. So the tribunal in Gaag now do not function because they completely under the Western's influence. So we need to have our own. We need to, if they prohibit us to visit, or they catching the people from Donbass everywhere and they try to lock them up, let's catch them. Let's prosecute them. Let's put them in a jail because they're going to visit China. They're going to visit South Africa or Brazil or India or Russia. And they need to know. They doesn't matter where they go. We're going to go after them. We're going to catch them. We're going to lock them up and we're going to sue them because they need to be prosecuted. This is a war criminals who is violating all international law, but international law doesn't work anymore. So we need to have our own institution and a tribunal. It's a good idea. I supported this with all my connections and all my media people power.
Yeah, it's correct what you say. It's very unfortunate because the institutions they created for equality and justice and peace, like the UN, like the ICC, they're not functional because they're hijacked by the same people.
Completely. Yeah.
And it's just interesting to me because there were several amendments in Congress specifically banning weapons to the Azov battalion, and then they received them as heroes. I mean, this is insulting. I think for everybody. There are many people in the United States who fought the Nazis. My grandfather was a pilot in the RAF in World War II. So I don't understand how we are now okay with funding Nazis. In Britain, in Europe, this is madness. It's madness.
First of all, let's not forget that in the Madison Square Garden, I have that footage in my possession, and you can YouTube it very easily. You put it on YouTube, like Nazi Madison Square Garden, and you can see 10,000s of Americans wearing that swastika, marching with a flags.
Yeah,
and they're doing this like a Sieg Heil things, and this is like the Nazi idea was very popular in America. I believe that the natural racism was very gross rooted in the United States against the black people. That's full, and but look who is now supporting the Azov. Look who is introducing them to the Congress and to leading them. That's all Democrats. That's all liberals.
Yep.
That's people who believe in the law, liberty, fraternity, and all these values. They gone. By the way, don't make any mistake. United States, in the way of banking system, funded Adolf Hitler before the World War II, and they also support the Joseph Stalin because they want two great power emerge in Europe, and they want them to collide because they was vulturing, they was profiting from this conflict. Lend-Lease and others, this is not money for free. This is a lease. This is a loan. Soviet Union pay back the Lend-Lease during the Gorbachev time, 1991. 1991. I can make a small mistake, but I believe so.
It's funny to me because everybody who knows World War II history knows that the Lend-Lease, the country that benefited the most, I think the second was Russia, was the Soviet Union. And if you look at the reporting about the Ukraine Lend-Lease, they say, oh, well, this was, we gave money to the Brits, and they don't say we gave money to the Russians. They leave this out like they're rewriting history. It's so embarrassing. It's like, it's childish. It's completely childish.